Are you running your social media or is it running you? Disney Plus launches today, and what drivers in Houston did to save a life.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Good morning. It is a Taco Tuesday. It is November 12th, 2019, day 61 of Got to Get on Ellen. I am on a mission. I have got to get myself, the hopefulist, and my podcast partner, Tucker, on Ellen. I sent another video yesterday. I'm going to step it up. I'm going to become much more annoying. She won't be able to ignore me. Okay, she probably can, but we'll see how it goes. I will keep you posted. The cold is coming in today. People, get ready. They're talking about potential snow by the end of the day. Now, if you're in the area that I'm in, I'm at the Jersey Shore and surrounding areas. Very warm out right now. We're in the 50s, but we're going to go down all day long. And potentially, like I said, snow for the evening commute. My cousin Jim put on my Facebook wall yesterday that people who do the Christmas creep like I do, who start early, are to blame for any snow in November. Now, Jim has been giving me crap about my Christmas creeping for years. That's fine. I just responded, I will take the blame. I'm sorry if my joy is too bright for you. And he's finally said, okay. Your joy is not too bright for me. It's all about the perspective. I think it comes in too fast. You enjoy it. And that has really been my point all along. If I want to put my Christmas tree up today, I'm not sure how that affects anybody else. If I want to sit and look at my Christmas lights for the next 2 months, why do you care? I love it. It brings me joy. I have to say, I've been beat this year. It looks like I did it last weekend, this past weekend, a year ago, because I can see in my Facebook memories that I was posting pictures of my tree all decorated. But I believe that Thanksgiving was a week earlier last year. So we're missing like a whole week this year because Thanksgiving is late. So I'm going to do it this weekend, but somebody already beat me. My friend Heather said that it was really the only time the whole family could get together to do the decorations, and more power to you, sister. And she was posting pictures of her winter Christmas wonderland over the weekend. So I've been beat this year. I kind of feel I feel like I've lost. I feel like I should be first. I don't know what happened. All right, next year, day after Halloween, tree goes up. No more fiddling around, waiting. I got to be the first. I wanted to tell you that Disney Plus is launching today. It's very exciting. My husband keeps bringing it up. We're not sure how we're going to access it because, we don't have one of those smart TVs. We have a dumb television. It's stupid. But we do have cable, and we watch Netflix through our cable box. So we were thinking that maybe that would become one of the apps that they offer. And I did check first thing this morning, and thus far I have not seen it. It did launch overnight, so it should be now available. Maybe my cable company is just lollygagging this morning and didn't get it up right away. Here's hoping, because you can watch any Disney movie. You can watch any Star Wars movie. They even have, of all things, The Simpsons. Every episode of The Simpsons. Could you imagine binge watching The Simpsons from start to finish? It's over 20 years that show has been on. I've never been a fan of The Simpsons. But, obviously, A lot of people are. So Disney Plus launched overnight. So if you have signed up for it, I believe it is $7 a month, or you can bulk buy for the year. I think $69 for the year. So that between that and Apple's new streaming service, which I have not gotten yet. Apparently, I think I'm reading through social media that the morning show, which is the one with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, the one reason I definitely want to check out Apple's new streaming service, have not released all of the episodes for that show in bulk. I think they're giving you a couple at a time, which is not really a streaming service. A streaming service is supposed to give them all at the same time so we can sit down for one weekend and do nothing but watch television. That's how I watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel every year. Every time it comes out, I set my weekend aside and I'm just sitting in front of the television watching episode after episode until I'm finished. That's the way it goes. That's what streaming service is all about. Am I right? I'm right. I'm right. I know. So, speaking of Apple, Apple apparently is launching a new credit card, and I can't think of the company that's actually doing the work for them. Can't think of it. But they're the ones that are going through the process of taking the applications and going through the credit scores and assigning credit limits and such. Goldman Sachs. I think it's Goldman Sachs. There is news coming out that men with credit scores lower than their wives are still getting bigger credit limits. Now, they have come out and said that gender has no factor in what they assign in credit limits. Well, then what is the factor? If it's not gender and you put a man and a woman next to each other, the woman has a better credit score than the man. What are the other factors we're looking at if it's not gender? Because I would think that credit score would be the end-all, be-all to the factors. And apparently that's not the case. So I just always try to point these things out to all of the many women that I hear say, what rights don't we have as men do now? How are things not equal? Well, this is yet another example of how we are not still being treated equally. Just keep it in mind. Awareness, it's the first step. Adorable story out of Houston. I saw in the news this morning. Drivers on an interstate saw a dog running down the road, and they interviewed one of the people that they stopped, and he said every car just immediately stopped in the middle of the interstate to catch this dog. Apparently, the dog was in a car that was in an accident. He got loose, and then, of course, he was freaked out, and he kept running away from everyone. Now, they did catch the dog. We had an incident like that in our local neighborhood a few months back where the dog took off after an accident. It was a very serious accident, and nobody could catch him. I mean, he just ran from everyone, including his owners. They were saying that it was just this panic, this trauma that triggered this flight in him. And it took a good couple of weeks to get him and get him back to his owners, but they did finally. But we, as a community, we were enthralled. We were watching and keeping track and praying. But this story, like I said, they were able to catch the dog and get it back with his owner. But this reminds me of when I did traffic. I did traffic for quite a while in the Philadelphia area. And whenever there was a dog, it didn't happen a lot, but occasionally there would be a dog on, say, 95, which obviously is a huge interstate. And then in the Philadelphia area, we have Interstate 76, which we call the Schuylkill Expressway. Also, huge, huge interstate through the Philadelphia area. If a dog was ever loose, I literally would be on my reports. There's a dog on 95. Please slow down. Please keep an eye out for the dog. Don't hit the dog. It's freaking out. And then finally I'd be like, all right, the dog is caught. Okay, we can all go back to our regular commute. The dog is safe and okay. But I did that a number of times, and I'm sure that the stations that I worked for were probably like, all right, shut up about the dog. Just keep giving us the traffic. But I just can't help it because, when I worked in the traffic center, we had all these cameras on all these televisions in the ops center, we would call the operations center. And I would go out and I would just watch on the cameras, see the dog running around. And I would just not feel better until that dog got back off the roadway safely. So good for you drivers in Houston. That's like I said, the one was interviewed and he had said like everybody just immediately came to a stop and everybody got out of their car to try and, rally this dog and to get him back to his owners, which they were able to do. So I applaud you, people in Houston. There are some things more important than getting to work on time, and that would be saving the life of a dog. So I will move on to my topic, and I had shared an article or a study from 6ABC that said Thanksgiving, Americans secretly hate cranberry sauce, according to this study. They say that 22% of those asked to eat sweet potatoes, even though they didn't like it. 29% of people say they don't like cranberry sauce, but eat it anyway. Green bean casserole comes in second. I don't know how you can't like green bean casserole. I'm just saying. But yeah, it seems kind of odd to me that people are actually eating things that they don't like. 29% of people don't like the cranberry sauce. 24% don't like the green bean casserole, but still eat it. 21% of people eat pumpkin pie, even though they don't like it. 19% of people eat the turkey, even though they don't like it. Now, I've not been a huge fan of the turkey portion of the turkey dinner. I finally started to switch to the dark meat, which I do prefer over the white meat. And if I do have a little bit of white meat, I started dipping it in my mashed potatoes, which makes it a little less dry. So I figured out a way to incorporate it because I just felt guilty, I guess, for not having any turkey. But my favorites are all of the extras, all the sides. I love the mashed potatoes and the stuffing and the green bean casserole and the bread. So, and I don't like pumpkin pie. I've talked about this before. I love pumpkin spice. I love my pumpkin coffee. I love pumpkin bread. It must be a texture thing. I just don't like that, which is weird because I like Jell-O, and it's a little more firm than Jell-O. But there's just something about every couple of years I give it another go. I just take a little bite of a pie, and I'm like, yep, still don't like it. But I do try, because I used to hate stuffing. Now I love stuffing. Got to be the crispy kind, though. I don't like that mush in the middle. I like the sides. It's all nice and crisp and browned. Now I want Thanksgiving dinner. So I asked you, is there something you eat at Thanksgiving that you don't actually like? And if you don't, tell me why. Now, Martin says, I dislike pumpkin pie. I love turkey stuffing and whole cranberry sauce. I guess not the jellied kind. Michelle says, I love cranberry sauce, not a fan of pumpkin pie. Diane says, we do it Italian. No turkey because not one of us like it, nor pumpkin. Pasta it is with all the fixings of an Italian Thanksgiving. Hey, you do you. Linda says, I go to my daughter's house and she cooks what I always cook. So, of course, you would like that. She said, oh, and I love cranberry sauce. I eat it year round. Not a fan of the green bean casserole. Oh, Linda. How could you? Adele says, my mother made mashed turnips, which now I know they were actually rutabagas, every Thanksgiving. No one but my dad liked them, but there was that big old bowl on the table every year. Joe's mother always asks for, what is it she asks for? Is it rutabagas? It might be rutabagas. She asks every year specifically for something, and I think she is the only one that eats it. Megan says, if I don't like it, I pretty much don't eat it. That's the way to go. Joe says, I don't eat anything I don't like. There isn't much I don't like, but I do skip the cranberry sauce. Michelle says, I've always hated cranberry sauce. There is so much yummy food on Thanksgiving. Why would I eat something I don't like?